as we were saying off air, some people might not remember his face, but they'll definitely know your silks with some horses over the years. You've been an owner for 40 years, 50 years. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about how it all started for you?
Yeah, it started as a young man, really. I was on Hesel Road, and in those days the bookies were all sort of semi-illegal. They were all down the back 10-foots and passages and things. And I used to take bets from my father, African bets, and as a young man, and that's sort of where I started to get the boost for racing. And when Mr. Piggott won the Derby on Heatherseth, I don't know what year that was, but it's a pretty long time ago. I think I had 2 bob each way on it as a kid, and look back from there really, and that's where it all started. I started to make my way in business, and as soon as I got the first opportunity, got any cash together, I bought a horse. And Jeff Toft trained it in Beverley, and that's a long time ago. And I called the horse Autodrome Hope. That was the name of my friend that we were at the time. And that was the first horse I had, and that would be 45, 50 years ago. And from then on I had numerous attempts at getting a winner. Until about 30 years ago, Fergal Sweeney rode a horse called Bowling Along, Catrick, and that won. And I look back from there really, but numerous winners since then. And a lot of, we've sort of competed at a very top level on numerous occasions. Not all the time, most of the time we're, buying cheap horses and hoping get something decent. And invariably you don't. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it, wouldn't they?
And in terms of...
Now and again, we've had some good horses. Like Dream Walker won lots of massive races. Won the Eleanor handicap twice at Galway. That's £100,000 handicap, 2 years running. We had Orawa. He won the big sales race at the Curragh. £150,000 race, £200,000 race, something like that. He won that going away. He was good horse. He won that race and I got a fortune for it and turned it down. And a fortnight later, Brian rang me. He said, he's not so well, he's hopping around a bit. But he said, it'll be alright, it won't be anything serious anyway. To cut a long story short, this is a fortnight after I turned down a fortune for him. He stood on the nail on the road going down to the Galaxy. He'd gone to and broke his pedal bar, and I said, he had to have him put down. Couldn't sort of do anything with him. He would have been in pain for the rest of his life. So that was a good way down. Then Tonto came along, and brought in one deal, bought 6 or 8 horses at the sales, babies, all cheap. And Tonto was €3,000, and he turned out to be a jewel and a very famous horse. His first race was at Beverley, he was 4th, but showing a hell of a lot of promise. He won his next race at Beverley, and he never looked back from then. He was a fantastic horse, won nearly $500,000 in prize money. But not only the money, it was just his general attitude and his markings and everything made him a superstar really. And he's still so popular now. He has a fan club and people constantly getting in touch with Brian and asking him what he's doing. And I gave him to a lady in Malton, and she's training him as a dressage horse. And he's doing okay. Going along a number of other horses over the years, got some good ones. Good few ones at at Beverley in the interim period. Make on Madam, she won 3 or 4 times at Beverley. Very good winners. We had a couple of winners last season at Beverley with I can't quite remember the name, but we'll come to it in a minute. And then we got Perfect Part. Perfect Part's been a star and did just tore our hearts out really with what happened at Beverley in the Hilary Needler, which is a fabulous race to win. It used to be a listed race, but it's not listed now, but it really well should be. It's a high quality race. And decent prize money, 25,000 to the winner, and then another 10,000 we got as a breeder's prize, to spend at the sales, which I've spent most of it. And she came. We entered her Hilary Needler, knowing she was a fast filly, and she came up the stalls at 125 to 1, which was ridiculous, really. Bearing in mind we knew the quality of the horse, but I don't gamble now. I haven't gambled for I bet for donkey's years. But a lot of people I know did, including what we played her in the house. She had a pound each well or something. Anyway, she won 145 quid, and it took her a couple of days to get her out of intensive care. There was numerous funny stories like that. The gardener, she had on it, but he had a decent bet on it, tenner each way. So anyway, you can imagine it was just it was fun alive, really. And then after the race, there was maybe a couple of innovative features. They had a couple of deck chairs and a really beautiful sunny day. And Cam was it. Got some great photographs of Cam Hardy won, and Matt Brown from Brian's in Liverpool. It was really good. I'll never forget it. I've always wanted to win it, and we did it in the end, albeit 125 to 1.
And that in particular, obviously, being a local person, it has been a race that you've targeted for so long. What were the expectations heading into the day and kind of the nerves on the day?
It's a race I've always wanted to win, and I've seen some really good horses win it. I mean, that one of Dodd's won the year, that famous horse.
Liberty Beach.
Which one?
Liberty Beach.
Liberty Beach. No, that's I remember that in a minute. But yeah, on the morning of the race, I spoke to Brian, and we're looking at the situation and at the price, and Brian said to me, and I agreed wholeheartedly, well, if that's 125 to 1, I'll eat my bloody hat. Because she's a good, fast, hard filly. And as it proved, in the race, she was unbelievable. She came forward. She was in the middle of the field. The rest of the field, really bottoming out, and she was cantering. And I was thinking, if she gets a gap, she's going to bloody win this. And she burst through right on the line and won by going away by about a length or something.
And she was obviously only the second horse in 20 years to win this first time out. That must be even more satisfactory for you doing it the hard way.
Yeah, absolutely. What a hard, difficult race to win first time out. I mean, it's very competitive. Jockey in that race is going to give an inch to anyone. I mean, there's no favours given in races like that. I mean, every man for himself, and that, when you've got a filly that's never ran before, and can easily be intimidated. Colts and experienced horses and persons what running against you. You need a certain type of horse that's going to ignore all that and have a go and burst through, and she what she is.
And more generally, we do see you at Beverley quite a lot, with it being your local track. How much do you enjoy coming to Beverley, and how has the connection kind of changed over the years?
I only go for the pizzas. No, I mean Beverley. It's chalk and cheese now to what it used to be. I mean, it's not that long ago, the new owners and trainers bar was built. I don't know how long that's been, maybe 10 years or something. And they're constantly improving that. I mean, the catering's improved dramatically. Everything about the tracks, constantly investing in the track, which is fantastic, really. And the owner's experience now, compared to what it used to be, is unbelievably good. I mean, Beverley worked by themselves. I mean, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, owners' facilities throughout the north were pathetic. They really were. I'm not a great person for, sitting down and eating meals at racetracks and all that kind of stuff. It's not doesn't really attract me, but it attracts a lot of other people. Quality catering is the name of the game for a lot of the owners these days are part owners. They belong to these syndicates. So you've got 10 people going for, the own horse and good luck to them. And they're all enjoying the day out at the races and having a meal and wanting it's a fantastic way to spend your time. So I think the tracks have done the right thing. They've invested in the facilities, and therefore they're attracting more and more owners. It's great.
And before you were saying it's a track you like to have runners at, you said you've had about 25 winners at Beverley as well, so you must have had a lot of good days here.
I don't know how many winners I've had at Beverley, but I've had a lot. But I've had some fantastic days. They're all good days, aren't they, really? With degrees of goodness. I've been down to, I had a fabulous horse called King Billy. That would have, in my opinion, been a very, very good horse and died at Beverley. So that was a depth of despair. Nothing to do with anyone apart from just horses. You broke a shoulder blade. And then we've had perfect part this season winning Hilary Needler. So, and the stages in between those two situations, you can imagine, one's black and the other one's white.
For sure.
Yes.
And obviously, as we were saying off air, it is kind of the 60th year of the Hilary Needler next year coming up. You've obviously caught a bug for winning it.
Win it again next
Are you going to
year.
win it with, and most importantly, do you have a horse in mind?
I have actually a horse in mind, and I'll show you her in a minute. It's one of I only just bought. She came from Ireland about a month ago. She's a beautiful filly. She's one of the best put together fillies I've ever had in my life. And if she doesn't do it, then I have another one that's at Brian's. Extremely precocious filly by who's that one bred? I don't know how that was bred. I can tell you in a minute, John will tell it. But that's really precocious, sharp as a button. That's at Brian's. In fact, it's too sharp for me to have here. Had her here for a couple of weeks, and she was perfect type for Hilary Needler. Precocious, sharp, fast.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for May the 24th, and hopefully we'll be seeing you in the winners' enclosure again. Just to finish off, obviously going into depth about one of your horses, which, as you said earlier, is the one that has the fan club of his own, Notch Tonto.
Yeah.
Just where do we even start with him?
Well, that was a fairy story, wasn't it? All the way through from how good the horse was as a racehorse, but how attractive he was aesthetically. He just had outrageous markings. Look, hence his name. He just looked like an American Indian pinto type horse, and that's where the Tonto came from, and the top notch came from Ian McGuinness on training to start with. And Ian used to say to me, "This bloody horse has been here before. He goes like a bomb." This is as a baby. He said, "He just goes like a bomb." He said, "I've never seen anything like it." He said, "I had to break him until you saw him." And that's where I got the idea. I got this horse is a born name man, and I always thought I'm going to call him Tonto, then call him TNT. You know, TNT, that's a bloody born name. So Notch Tonto, that's TNT, and that's how it all came about. So it's a good name, Tonto. And then anyway, from there on, he just became the sort of, well, I don't know, pin up of the nation, really, because it was a fairy story. It cost, in British pounds, probably 2,600 quid, 3,000 euros. Among six I bought that day. And it continued to go from strength to strength. He won $500,000 in prize money. He took us to fantastic places. We met princes and bloody royalty and God knows what, all on the back of that horse. We had moonshot palaces. Fantastic situation. And whenever I had a badge on the lapel at Ascot or some of the posh racecourses with Notch Tonto on, people stopped me all the time, asked about the horse. So yeah, it was a dream.
And that day at Ascot where you come second in a Group 1, you're beating kind of owners like Culmore, Godolphin, Shadwell.
Yeah.
That must be special.
Yeah, well, but I mean, that's the sort of little minnow beats the massive giant, you know. And but of course, you know, if you know horses, you know racing, you know that's not impossible. There's a lot of £1 million horses are useless, and there's a lot of 3,000 euros horses are very, very good. I appreciate that there's a lot more good expensive horses than there is good cheap horses. But if you've got the facilities and you've got the love of the game like I have, we buy, well, I bought 6 this year to now, yearlings, and hoping that among those we'll find the perfect path. Or Green Walker was 5,000 quid. He won $250,000. Orwell was 18,000 quid. He won 225,000. Tonto won massive money. Well, you know, we won a lot of money. Never made a penny. I mean, if you added up what we've won and then subtracted what we spent, we're in debit by about God knows how much. We've never made a penny in our lives. But the attractions of racing and winning the Hilary Needler and winning the Eleanor handicap, you can't put into money. Yeah.
And is it still that pursuit of obviously greatness and winning them big races that do kind of keep the love as strong as ever?
Absolutely. That's what's going on. That's why I've been out this morning feeding horses this morning. And do every day. But that's what, you know, it's just that little spark, you know, when I'm out on the tractor and I've got half a dozen horses around me, I'm thinking, oh, which one of them is going to do it for us? Invariably they don't, but they do occasionally. And yeah, you're right. You know, the thought that it can be, you know, the Coolmores of this world, and not that I particularly want to beat the Coolmores. I think it's a fantastic operation, but you know, the big hitters of this world it's evidently possible in racing, and I'm lucky to have done it once or twice. But they've beaten me a lot more than I've beaten them, I might add. But we're not talking about that.
Perfect. Well, thanks a lot for your time, and here's to hoping that you will be beating Culmore a few more times.
Well, let's hope so, yeah. Let's hope.